Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with another installment of Building the Team. So last week we finally got to run that play the Falcon Winter Soldier game that my group and I tried to put together nearly a month ago. I ran 2 games with the Soldier team, and the less said about those 2 games, the better. And I also ran a game with the Shield team, and that was actually really. And even though it did horribly, it was actually a really fun game, and yeah, I really need to I needed to pay more attention to the map because not realizing that the elevation squares were going, not realizing that the changing elevation was down rather than up beforehand. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put myself in the position I'd put myself in. Also, something I'm going to start doing is actually picking out maps for each team from here on out. So anyway, this week's build is 500 points, DC only. So, we got ourselves a Suicide Squad team, which this is one we'll start off with. Coming in at, we'll start things off looking at Bud. Yes, this is Bud, one of Harley's hyenas. There is also a figure of Lou, which uses the exact same sculpt and a slightly different dial. So Bud comes in at 25 points, has the animal keyword as well as a trait. Come here, boys. During force destruction, Bud gains the keywords of characters on that starting force named Harley Quinn. Sidestep, but only if a friendly character named Harley Quinn has moved this turn. Looking at his dial, we've got a few clicks of Blaze Claw's Fangs, a few clicks of Super Senses, and a few clicks of the special power Likes to Play Pranks, which grants Bud probability control, but only during opponent's turns. And yes, we do have a Harley Quinn on the team, so he does gain Suicide. He does gain, among other keywords, Suicide Squad. Next up, we've got Amanda Waller. Now, this actually does look just like the Amanda Waller that we'd use previously, but this is actually the Justice League Unlimited version figure, and the animated version, and costs 10 points more. But she comes in at 35 points as the Suicide Squad team ability, as well as the Project Cabinet, Suicide Squad, Politician, and Soldier keywords. Looking at her dial, we have a full run of Stealth, 2 out of 3 clicks of Penetrating Psychic Blast, a full run of Mastermind, and on damage we have a full run of the special power National Security. Leadership, but succeeds on a 4 through 6. When she succeeds on a 6, instead of the normal effect, you may remove an action token from a friendly character of 100 points or less anywhere on the map. Okay, alright. I'd say that's worth the extra 10 points. And in all honesty, the old Amanda Waller from Joker's Wild, not that bad either. So yeah. Next up, we've got Copperhead. Honestly, I'll just say it. Copperhead is in here for the sheer purpose of filling points. Copperhead comes in at 40 points. He has the Injustice League team ability as well as the Injustice League, Secret Society of Supervillains, Suicide Squad, and Animal keywords. And we have the Injustice League trait. At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6. On a 6, give an action token to an opposing character with 100 points or less. Not as powerful in the post-pushing damage days, but still, potentially locking down an opposing character is always a good thing. Looking at his dial, we've got 3 clicks of the special speed power Slither Close, which gives Copperhead Leap, Climb, Sidestep, and Plasticity. That then gives way to just regular Plasticity. On attack, we open up with a few clicks of Poison, which gives way to Precision Strike. On defense, we open up with Super Senses, which then gives way to Combat Reflexes, and sadly, nothing on attack. But he's 40 points, so, Moving on, though, we've got Bronze Tiger. Bronze Tiger here comes in at 60 points, has the Suicide Squad team ability, as well as the League of Assassins, Suicide Squad, and Martial Arts keywords. Looking at his dial, we've got a few clicks of special speed power Master Martial Artist to start off with, which gives him Charge, Flurry, and Sidestep. This thing gives way to regular sidestep. On attack, we open up with a couple clicks of Precision Strike, followed by a couple clicks of Blades Claws Fangs. On defense, we open up with Super Senses, which then gives way to a couple clicks of Willpower, and we finish up with a couple clicks of Combat Reflexes, and sadly, nothing at all on damage, which is a travesty. Anyway, moving on, we've got Harley Quinn. First to note, Harley is unique. So there can only be one of her on the team. And you'll see why here in a moment. But Harley comes in at 65 points. She has the Calculator Wildcard team ability, as well as the Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Sirens, Gotham City Underworld, Secret Six, Scientist, and Suicide Squad keywords, which she also passes along to Bud. She has improved movement, ignores hindering training characters. She also has 2 traits. First off is My Puddin'. Once per game, choose a friendly character with a higher point value. The chosen character is Harley Quinn's Puddin'. Harley can use Perplex and Probability Control, but only to target her Puddin'. When her Puddin' is KO'd, modify all of Harley Quinn's combat values by +1. Okay. The other trait is Sneak, Sneak, Sneak. When Harley has no action tokens, she can use Sidestep. Alright. Now she's got she's an older figure, so she's on one of the older cards, which doesn't have her dial. But we got some stealth on speed, which gives way to Flurry. On attack, we open up with special power Naughty Naughty. Harley Quinn can use poison. When she does, if she is adjacent to only one opposing character, the damage dealt is penetrating. That thing is with a Quake. On defense, we open up with a special power I'm not even a real blonde. Harley Quinn can use combat reflexes and super senses, which then gives way to regular super senses, which then gives way to regular combat reflexes. Finally, on damage, we open up with Outwit, which then gives way to Close Combat Expert. Okay. Next up, another figure with an old card. Mirror Master. I love that sculpt. So Mirror Master here comes at 75 points, has the Suicide Squad team ability, as well as the Injustice League, Rogues, and Suicide Squad team keywords. We also have a trait, Traveling Through the Mirror Dimension. Mirror Master needs a carry ability and may carry up to 5 friendly characters regardless of their speed symbols, if they share a keyword with him. If Mirror Master begins his move adjacent to a square of blocking terrain or a wall, his speed value isn't modified by the carry ability. Now, that last part, if I remember correctly, that's not something to worry about anymore, as I don't think there is a modifier on carrying. A modifier on speed for carrying. But anyway, so looking at his dial as best as we can, Mirror Master opens up with Phasing Teleport on speed. We've got some Incapacitate on attack, followed by Precision Strike. On defense, we open up with a special power, Mirror Images. Mirror Master uses super senses. When he does, while adjacent to blocking terrain, he succeeds on a result of 4 through 6. That then gives way to Willpower. On damage, we open with Probability Control, which then gives way to Shape Change. Okay. And next up, also with an older card, is Deadshot, who will be Harley Quinn's Pudding. Deadshot here comes in at 100 points, has the Suicide Squad team ability, as well as the Secret Six, Suicide Squad, and Assassin keywords. We've also got improved targeting, ignores elevated terrain, or hindering terrain. And a trait, Bang. Deadshot can use Range Combat Expert. When he does, he may choose his range value as one of the combat values to modify. Now, with the new rules, as Range Combat Expert no longer is you pick either attack or damage, he just has traded Range Combat Expert. But that's fine. Power-wise, we open up with Stealth on speed, followed by Running Shot. He has the Sharpshooter ability, which, if I remember correctly, grants improved targeting for adjacency. He can target out of adjacency, including he can make range combos out of adjacency, including against adjacent opposing characters. But we have Energy Explosion, followed by Precision Strike. On defense, we've got Toughness, followed by Combat Reflexes, followed by Regeneration. And on his first click, I think it's just the first one. Yeah. We've got a special power, Sniper Rifle. Deadshot may replace his range value with 10. If he does, he only has one target. Normally speaking, Deadshot's got 2 targets in a 7 range. Honestly, it's kind of worth it, and with range comics being what it is now, he gets a 13 attack and a 4 damage, and if Harley's adjacent, you can make that a 14 attack. And, but though sadly, no one on the team has enhancement, so yeah, can't do anything for his damage. Can't boost his damage beyond 4. But yeah, it's not as good a combo as it used to be now, but it's still decent at least. Finally, for the team, we've got Deathstroke. Deathstroke comes in at 100 points, has the team player wildcard ability, as well as the Hive, Society, Suicide Squad, Assassin, Martial Arts, and Soldier keywords, and improved movement ignores hindering terrain, and a trait, remember, we're getting paid. When Deathstroke KOs one or more opposing characters with an attack after resolutions, heal Deathstroke 2 clicks. Looking at his dial, we open up with a special speed power, the best there is, which grants him charge and running shot. This gives way to a couple clicks of sidestep, followed by a click of stealth at the end. On attack, we open up with a few clicks of Penetrating Blast, and followed by just as many clicks of Blaze Claw's Fangs. On defense, we open up with Invulnerability, which then gives way to Combat Reflexes, which then gives way to a final click of Regeneration. On damage, we open up with Exploit Weakness, which then gives way to Ranged Combat Expert. So, in all honesty, not too shabby in the slightest. Map-wise, when going with this team, we will likely be using the Ace Chemicals map. Either the Ace Chemicals plant from Joker's Wild, or the Ace Street map, also from Joker's Wild. I've had a decent amount of success with Suicide Squad teams on the Ace Street map, so, you know, maybe. We'll see. The downside with the big downside is just, you know, well, I guess with that, with the JLU wall, you don't really need to have the Ace Street map is actually a bit better, so. Anyways, moving on, we've got ourselves a Gotham City team. I know you're thinking, a Gotham City team? Why not just have a Batman family team, right? Well, that would generally be right, but not everyone on the team has the Batman family keyword. Anyway, so, starting off, we've got Commissioner Gordon. Gordon here comes in at 30 points. He has the PD team ability as well as the Batman family, Gotham City, Detective, Police, and Politician keywords. We also have a trait, Life on the Streets. When Commissioner Gordon is the only friendly character using the police team ability for an attack, modify the defense value of the target by -2 instead of -1. Okay, alright. Looking at Gordon's dial, all we've got is a couple clicks of toughness on defense. He opens up with a special damage power, Commanding Authority, which gives him enhancement in leadership. He can use, and he can only use them if no other character has used them this turn. That then gives way to regular enhancement. Next up, we've got Robin. Robin here comes in at 35 points, has the Batman team ability, as well as the Batman family and Gotham City keywords. We also have improved movement, ignores elevated and hindering terrain. Then looking at his dial, we open up with a click of sidestep, a couple of clicks of running shot, and then a click of charge. Attack-wise, we get some mid-dial incapacitate. Defensively speaking, we open up with a few clicks of super senses, followed by a click of combat reflexes. Then on damage, we open up with perplex, followed by empower. Okay, all right. Next up, we've got Catwoman. Of course, this is not your normal, average, everyday DC Comics Catwoman. This is Bombshell Catwoman. Catwoman here comes in at 55 points. Has the bombshells and Gotham City keywords as well as improved movement ignores hindering terrain. She also has the trait Bombshell. When targeting an opposing character, give her a Bombshell token. As a free action, if she has 2 action tokens, remove 2 Bombshell tokens, then make a close attack. Okay. Now looking at her dial, We open up with a few clicks of stealth, followed by a couple clicks of leap climb. On attack, we open up with a couple clicks of precision strike, followed by a few clicks of blaze claw's fangs. Defensively speaking, we open up the special power more secretive than you can imagine, which gives her super senses, and when she uses it before rolling the d6, she may remove up to 2 bombshell tokens to increase the result by 1 for each token removed. That then gives her way to regular super senses. On damage, we open up with a couple clicks of Outwit, followed by a few clicks of Perplex. Okay, alright. Support, largely support, but she can still pack a punch. Next up, we've got Batwoman. Also, in this case, a bombshell. Bombshell Batwoman comes in at 60 points. Has the bombshells and Gotham City keywords. She also has the bombshell trait, same as Catwoman. And another trait, helping the team. In power, but only if Batwoman is adjacent to a friendly character with the bombshells keyword. Okay. Looking at her dial, we've got a couple clicks of charge, then some flurry, then back to charge. We got some mid to late dial incapacitate. On defense, we open up with combat reflexes followed by inertial deflection. And then we get some a couple clicks of Outwit and a last click at the very end of Outwit as well. Okay, next up we've got Harley Quinn. And yes, this is Bombshell Harley. In fact, to be perfectly honest, this is kind of the reason it's a Gotham City team rather than a Batman family team is because of the current Batman comics and the fact that Harley is kind of sort of now a member of the Bat family. I wanted to run a Batman Gotham City, since there is not a Batman family keyword Harley. I wanted to run a Gotham team that included Harley and members of the Bat family. Not the easiest thing to do, hence the lack of, Nightwing, Batgirl. Well, I actually think Batgirl I could have probably put on the team, but I just didn't have the points for that. Having to use a few bombshells. You get the idea. Anyway, Harley comes in at 75 points, has the bombshells and Gotham City keywords as well as the bombshell trait, same as Catwoman and Batwoman. Looking at her dial, we open up with a couple clicks of the special power, Riding the Bomb, which gives her charge and the flight ability. This thing gives way to Flurry. On attack, for the rest of her dial. On attack, we open up with some Quake, followed by a couple clicks of Precision Strike, followed by a couple clicks of Poison. Defensively speaking, you open up with Super Senses, followed by a few clicks of Combat Reflexes. Damage-wise, top half of the dial is Perplex, back half of the dial is Outwit. And we got 2 damage the entire way down. Not too shabby. Next up, we've got Orphan. Orphan here also comes in at 75 points. She has the Batman ally team ability, as well as Batman family, Gotham City, League of Assassins, Assassin, and Martial Artist keywords. Improved movement ignores elevated and hindering terrain. And a trait, a blade forged in the flames of hatred, honed in darkness. Modify attack and defense +1 for each adjacent opposing character. Ooh, that's going to be fun. Anyway, looking at her dial, we open up with a few clicks of charge, followed by a few clicks of flurry on speed. On attack, we open up with special power conflict. Conflict is her element, which is her quake and precision strike, but she may use it with any number of targets. Okay. Then that again gives her to Blaze Claw's Fangs. On defense, we open up with Super Senses, followed by Combat Reflexes. On damage, we open up with Empower, followed by Battle Fury. Okay, all right. Battle Fury's kind of a tough one because, on the one hand, yeah, you can ignore shape change, but you can't be carried, and being carried can be beneficial. But you can be placed with telekinesis. However, no one on this team has telekinesis. Finally, for this team, we've got, of course, the man himself, Batman. Batsy here comes in at 170 points. He has the Batman ally team ability as well as the Batman family, Batman Incorporated, Gotham City, Justice League, Trinity, Detective, and Martial Artist keywords. We got improved movement, ignores elevated and hindering terrain, as well as improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain, characters, and may make ranged attacks out of adjacency, including the target adjacent opposing characters. We also have a trait, Files on Everyone. At the beginning of the game, choose an opposing character on a standard attack or damage power they currently possess. When that character possesses that power, Batman has dealt no damage from that character's attacks unless it's the only opposing character on the map. Then again, old card, so we don't have a dial to look at. But power-wise, we open up with Sidestep, followed by Flurry, followed by Charge. On attack, we open with special power Grapple Gun Attack. When Batman makes a ranged combat attack and it's exactly 2 characters, when action resolve, you may place one hit character adjacent to the other. The character being placed can't be of a larger size than the other hit character. This then gives way to Precision Strike, followed by Incapacitate. On defense, we open with special power Counter Punch. Batman can use combat reflexes and toughness. When an opposing character misses Batman with a close attack, deal the attacker 2 damage. Which then gives way to toughness, well, regular toughness. On damage, we open without wit, and that gives way to, at least eventually, exploit weakness. Map-wise, honestly, going with the Crime Alley map from Streets of Gotham. Probably one of the few maps I kind of wish I had laminated, because it tends to be so compressed. But it's got lots of hiding places. This is honestly kind of a second choice also for the Suicide Squad team. Except for the fact that it is indoor-outdoor. So, yeah. But, yeah. Crime Alley. Alrighty. Now moving on to our final team. It's Justice League team, and it's pretty similar to the Justice League teams we've been running quite a bit since JLU came out. Everyone on the team, I think, has the Justice League Unlimited trait. Boosters got it, Supergirl, Flash, Green Arrow, Static. Yeah, they've all got it. Same time, Justice League Unlimited trait is the opposite of Copperhead's and Justice League trait. Being the turn, you roll a d6 for each one with the trait. On a 6, remove an action token from a friendly character with Justice League keyword that's 100 points or less. Anyway, kicking things off, we've got the Question, he's probably becoming very familiar. Comes in at 40 points as the JLA team ability, as well as the Justice League Detective, Martial Artist, and Reporter keywords. JLU trait, looking at his dial, we've got a full run of Stealth, a couple clicks of special attack power, asking questions, and I actually neglected his other trait, Question Authority. This is actually why he's on the team. As a power action, if there is no d6 on this card, roll a d6 and place it on the card. Whenever a friendly character within 6 squares in the line of fire makes an attack roll, you may remove the d6 from this card and replace the die in the roll with it. But yeah, we get a full run of Stealth. We get the Asking Questions special power on attack, where he can do Smoke Cloud as a free action, but only to do 1 marker. A full run of Combat Reflexes. A couple clicks about Wit, followed by a couple clicks of Perplex. Honestly, not bad for 40 points. Next up, also at 40 points, is Huntress. Okay, like I said, she's 40 points. You have the Batman Ally team ability, as well as the Batman family, Birds of Prey, Justice League, and Martial Artist keywords. You have the JLU trait, as well as the second trait. When are you going to take me out on a real date, Q? As a free action, turn Huntress to the same click number of a different color. Looking at her dial, dials, we have a range attack dial and a close combat dial. Range attack dial, we get running shot, energy explosion, range, energy deflection, and range combat expert. Sadly, her the placement of her combat expert powers is not too great with the new powers. Looking at her close combat dial, we get charge, quake, combat reflexes, and close combat expert. Same problem there. The placement doesn't work too well with the changes made to range combat expert and close combat expert. Anyways, next up we've got Black Canary. Black Canary comes in at 45 points, has the JLA team ability, as well as the Birds of Prey, Justice League International, and Martial Arts keywords, JLU trait. Also, since we're using the ID Her Team Up card, she has an additional trait, Team Up the Flash. It listed friendly characters on the map. Black Canary can use super senses. Okay, looking at her dial, we open up with a click of sidestep, then we get a couple clicks of charge, then back to sidestep. Open and close with a special attack power, Canary Cry, which grants her penetrating psychic blast. When she uses it and hits, after resolutions, knock back all opposing characters adjacent to the hit target by 2 squares. Okay. On damage, we open up with, or defense, we open up with willpower, then the rest of the dial is combat reflexes. Then the middle 3 clicks of the dial, we've got some close combat expert. Okay, all right. And one of those is they're all the close combat expert clicks all have a 3 damage. One of them has an 11 attack as well to go with it. So that becomes a 12 for 4. That's not too shabby. Next up, we've got Speedy. Speedy here comes in at 45 points as well. Has the JLU trait, same as everybody else, as well as the Justice League, Outlaws, Outsiders, 7 Soldiers, and the Teen Titans keywords. We also have a secondary trait, Quantum Arrow. As a power action, once per game, choose a square within range and line of fire. Then Speedy can use Pulse Wave at no cost as if he occupied that square. That can actually be very useful. I've pulled that off. It's not as useful anymore with the changes to Pulse Wave. It now just deals 1 damage, period, but it's still, still pretty good. It still gets through everything, basically. Anyway, looking at his dial, we open up a special speed power, a mobile arsenal, which grants Speedy leap, climb, and running shot, and that has actually improved quite a bit. It doesn't make up for the change to Pulse Wave, but yeah. Now that leap, climb is a passive power, he basically has improved movement, ignores elevated hindering terrain. So yeah. Anyway, that thing is going to some sidestep, followed by a last click of running shot. On attack, we open up with energy explosion, followed by precision strike. Defense, we get a couple clicks of initial deflection, followed by a few clicks of willpower. Then we get some mid-late dial clicks of ranged combat expert. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Next up, we've got Static. Static comes in at 50 points, has the Teen Titans team ability, as well as the Justice League, Teen Titans, and Young Justice keywords. You've got the JLU trait. Then looking at his dial, we open up with a couple clicks of running shot, followed by a couple clicks of sidestep. Full run of the special attack power, Superconductivity, which grants energy explosion. Static deals penetrating damage to characters occupying water terrain or with the armor, robot, or vehicle keywords. That's actually really cool. I like that. Then we get a couple clicks of initial deflection, followed by a couple clicks of super senses, and then a full run of enhancement. Okay, all right. We want to be putting him next to some of our shooters, Speedy, Black Canary, Green Arrow, who we're looking at next. Green Arrow comes in at 60 points, has the JLA team ability, as well as improved movement, ignores elevated hindering terrain, and the Justice League 7 Soldiers Star City keywords, JLU trait, as well as another trait, Say Ah, Dirtbag. Modify attack +1 for each friendly character that Green Arrow shared a keyword with that has been KO'd this game. Modify damage +3, but only if Green Arrow is the only character on your force. Ooh. Looking at his dial, we open up a couple clicks of running shot, followed by some sidestep. On attack, we open up with initial energy explosion and a 12 attack for a couple clicks, followed by a special attack power. Someone needs to be here to speak for the little guy. Steal energy, both with close or range attacks. Defensively speaking, we've got initial deflection, followed by the special power. Justice League goes on, with or without you. Toughness, willpower, but only if a friendly character that Green Arrow shared a keyword with has been KO'd this game. Finally, on damage, we open up with leadership, followed by a few clicks of ranged combat expert. Honestly, he's quite good. So yeah, anyway, moving on, we've got the Flash. Flash comes in at 65 points, has the JLA team ability, as well as the Central City, Justice League, Celebrity, and Speedster keywords. We also have improved movement towards elevated hindering terrain. The JLU trait, as well as another trait, around the world in 80 milliseconds, As a free action, if the Flash occupies a square on the edge of the map, and that edge is the longest edge of the map or tied for it, place him in the same row or column as the opposing edge of the map from that edge. He can't be placed in a starting area this way. Okay, alright. Now, and since we are also using his team up partner Black Canary, we've got an additional trait, team up Black Canary. If Black Canary's on the map, Flash can use probability control, but only when targeted by a close attack. It has to be a friendly Black Canary as well. So yeah. Anyway, looking at Flash's dial, we open up with a full dial of the special speed power across the city in the blink of an eye, which grants hypersonic speed. As a free action, you can modify his speed by +3, but he can only move an indirect pass if you do. We get some late dial precision strike, and then on defense we have a full run of super senses. Excuse me. Next up, we've got Supergirl. Supergirl comes in at 75 points, has the JLA and Superman ally team abilities, as well as the Justice League, Kryptonian, League of Superheroes, and Metropolis keywords. We got 2 traits, JLU, just like everyone else, and not so sure this is a good idea or not. Let's see what happens. When Supergirl has no action tokens, makes an attack. If she hit after resolutions, remove an action token from her, or if she missed all targets after resolutions, give her an action token. So potentially speaking, you could end up giving her a second. If she misses with the attack, you kind of have to be careful because you could end up having to give her, a second action token. Looking at her dial, we get a couple of clicks of charge, followed by a couple of clicks of running shot, followed by a couple of clicks of sidestep. On attack, we open up with super strength, followed by precision strike, followed by quake. On defense, we open up with impervious, followed by invulnerability, followed by toughness. On damage, we have 2 late dial clicks of battle fury. Okay, alright. And finally, we've got good old Booster Gold. Booster here comes in at 80 points, has the JLA team ability, as well as the Justice League International, Celebrity, and Future keywords. We have 2 traits, JLU and Crowd Control. Barrier is free, but only to generate 2 markers. Okay. Looking at his dial, we open up with a few clicks of running shot, followed by a few clicks of sidestep. On attack, we have a few clicks at the beginning, followed by a click at the end of the special power 25th Century Technology, which grants Incapacitate and Knockback. Okay. On defense, we open up with Invulnerability, followed by Toughness, followed by Super Senses. On damage, we have a special power, Skeets, Booster Gold's biggest fan. Perplex and Probability Control. When Booster Gold uses Perplex to target himself, he may instead modify a combat value other than except for damage by +2. Okay. Not too shabby. Anyway, so the map for the Justice League team is actually going to be probably either the Justice League or Injustice League Hideout, or Justice League Watchtower or Injustice League Hideout maps from JLU. Here. There's the Watchtower map. And the Injustice League Hideout map. Sadly, I did not have the extra 5 points to pay for a map bonus on either one. So, but anyway, that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.